Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. Today, I'd like to share with you how I found my flow. I found myself in a world of I should do this or I should do that or what do I do? And I just felt very overwhelmed and lost for a little bit. And today I want to share with you a big aha moment I had a while back. After I was done with my yoga practice, I was sitting still on my mat in meditation. And I always do the meditation after my yoga practice. Anyways, I was sitting there wondering, what am I going to do next? What's the next thing on my list, in my morning routine? And then I thought, there's a million things I could be doing right now, but what's right for me? Anyways, I went on this little journey and then brought it back to my meditation. And eventually, once my meditation was over, kind of reanalyzed what came up for me on the mat. I had these moments, right? And it's like, instead of just forgetting that they happened, I was like, okay, that happened with my meditation practice. Let's, lean into this a little bit and go deeper into these moments. The thing is, I follow a lot of different people and I get inspired and motivated by many other people. And they all have these quotes, perfect formula. They've, created this formula, like do this, A, B, C, D, like follow it and things like that. And they have these formulas that they, are going to change your world, make you successful, create the perfect day, whatever they're selling, right? Or they've created for themselves. And it's, what to do and how to do it, how to start your morning and how to end your day. But here's the thing. What I do might not work for you. And what you do might not work for me. And I've already talked about the 5 a.m. Club by Raman Sharma and how that doesn't work for me. And I've really realized that we are all unique and different. So our mornings are not going to all look the same. I'm very fortunate to have a husband that works early in the morning. So he wakes up the kids and gets them ready. And at the end of the day, I'm making sure that the lunches are made with the kids are helping us this year and that their clothes are set out because we are not morning people. I've always set my clothes out the night before because when I get out of bed, it's like boom, boom, boom. Like I need the things ready. I don't want to be making decisions right off the get-go in the morning. So it's knowing who you are and how to best support you. That is really what it comes down to. Understanding that maybe you love to shower in the morning. And for me, the thought of showering in the morning, it's so cold, especially right now with the changing of seasons. The thought of going in the shower in the morning, I'm just like, yeah, no. I wouldn't shower ever. But some people need that to wake up and start their day. And I like to have a shower in the evening, washing away, my day and de-stressing and things like that. So it's really about what works for you. If I would share details of every single moment of my day, you would be like, okay, some of that might work for me, but some of it won't. And like I said, I was getting lost. Like, what do I do in my mornings? What's right for me? And it was even to the point where it was coming into my meditation. Which honestly, yes, meditations, our minds are supposed to be clear, but not really, right? Like thoughts are going to come up. You see them, acknowledge them, and let them go on. That's what I did that day. Yeah, they were there for a little bit, but then I'm like, okay, this is coming up for me. And it was good because then I could address it after my meditation was over and really sit down and be like, what is going on and what is best? And then I was like, well, I really would like to share this with others because if I'm struggling with this, maybe somebody else is too. So what I have done over the summer was really just going with my flow. So this all actually happened. I just found my notes on it recently. And it came up for me when I was practicing in the summer because my routine in the summer is definitely different than when the school year is on, just because of schedules. I get to wake up. I get to set my schedule in the summer, and in the school year, the school hours set our schedule. So anyways, so what I was doing again over the summer was just following my flow. what feels good to me and works for me, and then what doesn't work for me. So if you're not really knowing where you're at in your morning routine, or maybe you feel like, oh, I want to, switch it up a little bit or try something new. Or like I said, maybe you don't have one at all and you're just starting out. It's just trying different things. Kind of go on a journey and look at it as an adventure. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be, this crazy formula. I don't even want to say crazy, but it doesn't have to be so rigid either. And then eventually when you do find what works for you, it will just become as natural as brushing your teeth in the morning. So it's finding what feels good to you. So I encourage you to get curious. Play around with it. What works for you? And then what doesn't? And a great way of doing this is having a journal, or if you don't want to go, right into the journal, just even making notes on a notepad or anywhere really, and just jotting down. It could be as simple as like creating a list of things that you have read or heard about. And in another episode, I will be sharing different things that you can be including in your day that will help create a deeper, loving relationship with yourself. I also have other episodes about all this as well. Different things you can incorporate into your day. However, it's just you can make a list of things that you might want to try out. Maybe you shower at night, but you're like, maybe I want to shower in the morning, or whatever it is. Like, feel it out, right? Play and get curious. And it's just, having that, I'll try this list. Okay, stroke out the ones that don't work. Like, okay, that doesn't work into my day. And things like that, because I'm just thinking back to my own routine. I don't wake up earlier than my kids. I'm going to be honest. I'm not one of those get up before the kids, because I value my sleep and I'm also not the best in the morning. So I wake up and I make sure I say goodbye to my kiddos before they go to school. And then I start my morning routine. Now, I'm able to do that because I have the flexibility in my day because I am my own boss. But not everybody gets to do that. So some things might not feel as good to you because you're going against like your work, or your environment might not it's not as malleable. It's not as, you can't control everything in your life. And certain things in your morning routine might be out of your control as well. So it's finding what works inside your routines that you do have. So it's looking at the schedule, the things you can't change, and then working in the things that you do want to add or change. And then again, remember, don't try to be perfect. Oh my goodness, there's an episode. I'm going to be talking about this later too. And it's just, anyways, don't focus too much on being perfect. Just try your best and show up. And a big thing I actually discovered with my yoga practice is because I actually went through and became a yoga teacher in February last year, or this past year, I guess, in 2024. And I actually practiced, and I'm now a certified teacher, and it was under a teacher that teaches Ashtanga yoga. Ashtanga yoga. Sorry, my mouth and my brain are not working straight. Anyways, so the thing about that this practice is that they encourage you to practice 6 days a week. And then we talked about our moon cycle, aka our periods, and how, this might be too much oversharing and I apologize, but I have a heavy flow. So anyways, and it's about not practicing on your heavy flow day then. And then I actually realized that I want to continue my yoga practice, even when it's really hard to do the primary series and things like that. And it's not being perfect. It's about what works for me. So I do some sitting yoga, just sitting and doing, or cat and cow, different things that aren't so vigorous and moving, where things just don't work so well for me. Anyways, so it's not about, not every day has to be exactly the same, because you're not going to be exactly the same every day. Maybe you had a rough night's sleep and you're just not functioning like your normal self. Or maybe you have a cold or whatever it is that's in your life. Not every day is going to be the same energetically wise or motivational wise. It's having a baseline of what you'd like your morning to look like and trying your best to do it. But if you're stressing yourself out about your morning routine, you're starting your day off stressed out. And I really think that that defeats the purpose of having a beautiful morning routine, because it's, there to help you feel grounded in your day, not feeling like, oh my goodness, like I did not succeed today because I didn't do my morning routine right. So try your best not to overthink it. And like I said, play and get curious. It's supposed to be fun. Starting your day with fun. There's, I mentioned it in another episode where I don't actually do the full series of my yoga practice every single day because it's 1.5 to 2 hours long. So I found a way to do some of it that long and others not. And I have a shorter practice where we do donkey kicks, and it's to get you up to a handstand. And it just is so fun. So it's making your day, you're starting your day, and it's like, how do you want to start your day? Getting grounded and, empowered, if you like, and just curious about the day and things to come. And then for me, it's just reminding myself to have fun throughout the day, because I spent so many of my years not having fun. So it's really embracing that fun, silly side of me, and it's doing that. So it's finding what works for you and really just leaning into that. So as I was coming out of that meditation practice that day, I had a moment, and it's about starting your day in an empowered way. What makes you feel empowered? What makes you feel ready to go with your day with love and gratitude, and just in life in general, just feeling good and starting your day. And then do that. And what I found is when I take care of me in the morning in loving ways, I can better take care of myself throughout the day in loving ways, and also have more love to give to others. So really that's what it comes down to. And I've included, so I talked a little bit about my yoga practice in the morning and things like that. And then I've added like other little practices as well, as of tongue scraping and oil pulling and breathing as well, and then also meditation. So I've shared about yoga before, like what I've learned about yoga is like I was wrong about yoga kind of thing. And anyways, so I do break it down or like into different things like breathing and meditation, but really yoga is all those things, breathing and meditation, and it's just all that. But anyways, so it's having all those things, and I also do some tapping, and it's just finding what works for you. And I love journaling. The thing is, I don't journal often in the morning. Well, I might if I'm setting my intention for the day, but that's the only thing I'm doing. I actually wake up feeling pretty peaceful in the morning. Like I don't have a lot of emotions usually, stress or worry or any of that. That usually comes at the end of the day after I had like a full day of helping my children through their feelings and emotions and, the busyness and the go of the day. So I don't actually feel too stressed out in the mornings. And that's when I would use my journaling I would do it in the evening to kind of unpack my day. But I actually really like setting am I going to be that day? Like setting, how am I going to show up today? And, what am I going to give out to the world today and things like that. So it's just really setting intentions for the day. Sometimes I'll write it down. Sometimes I don't. I actually do find that writing things down, though, is really powerful. It's more powerful than just saying it in your head. But again, whatever is going to help you. So if it stresses you out being, I have to journal in the day, in the morning, or at night, any of the time, that's not going to be helpful for you. And also, I really, really want to put in this because I have been, oh my goodness, so many times on this journey of figuring out what am I going to do? What's right for me? How am I going to fit in all this in my morning routine? And all this stuff is take it one step at a time. So if you have a long list of things you want to incorporate in your morning routine or even in your evening routine, is take it one step at a time. So say you want to add meditating into your day. Start slow. Maybe only focus on 5 to 10 minutes. And then that's it. And then add something else, like after a week or two, slowly add to your routine instead of trying to do this perfect routine. Because if you try to do all these new things all at once, it could be hard to manage. And then all of a sudden you give up because you don't feel like you can do it. But you can if you treat them like building blocks. So one block, meditation, another block, moving your body or going for that walk or yoga, making the bed in the morning. I do this every single day. I like to make my bed. It's just the way to start the day. And I actually read once that just doing something small like that makes you feel accomplished for the day. Like you've already checked one task off your list, or like you've accomplished something. So it's like, yes, you can like feel good about it. I personally just like my bedroom looking top notch. So when I come back there in the evening, I'm like, hello, bed. And that's just how I am. Yeah, I'm crazy like that. Talk to my kids. They call me extreme a lot in a good way, very good way. Anyways, I also, so I talked about how I prefer journaling at night and not during the day, and how I set my intentions in the morning. But I also like to reflect on the day at the end of the day. Now, that doesn't always mean that I journal, but I sometimes visualize the next day in my head, or reflect on what happened during the day. Like, ooh, maybe I didn't handle my emotions as well as I might have liked, and how could I do better next time? Or, celebrating my wins. Like, oh, I didn't get so triggered when, my husband said something, like just different things. And then other people I've read, they suggest journaling in the morning and at night. And, you really got to find what works for you. So I do share parts of my routine with you because I want you to know what my foundation is. But that doesn't mean it's yours. And you really do need to kind of just, again, play and explore and have fun with it. Over the years, my routine has also changed. When my kids were really little, things looked a lot different than they do now. And as they get older, it's going to constantly be changing. So, it's just every so often you can just take a look at it and be like, is this still working for me? Or how do I even start in the beginning? And again, get back to those building blocks, one thing at a time. However, you can start with a list of things that you'd like to incorporate. Or maybe you have that, you have the ideal, like the idea of your perfect morning in your head already. Write that down. Pin it somewhere, put it somewhere. And then slowly work up to it. It doesn't all have to happen overnight. And not every single day, again, will look the same either. So give yourself some grace. But also have that there as a foundation or like somewhere to work up to. I hope that makes sense for you. And you just have to remember to do what feels right to you. That's really the key. Because everybody is different and unique. And we all need different, unique things. And if we think about it and we try to fit ourselves into somebody else's formula or box, it's only going to make us really feel frustrated because we're not fitting into this box that somebody else has created. It's not meant for us. We're not meant to fit into a box. And our life is constantly changing and moving. Now, some of us are changing and moving a little bit faster than others. If you're a parent, you understand, because as children grow and age, our schedules are constantly changing. Now, I'm not saying if you don't have children, your schedule isn't always changing. Maybe life is changing around you with a different job or, life in general around you. You know, um, things like I know on my end, things are always a little changing, and we're working at becoming a little bit more grounded and centered as a family this coming year. We have set our own intentions as a family. So, not just individual goals, but as a family, some goals. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you with all of that, all we've learned and, all the other stuff once we actually get, into that. And it's just really remembering that you don't need to fit into somebody else's box. We're meant to be ourselves and to flow and follow our own flow. And I was doing what I thought I should be doing instead of doing what felt right for me. Listening within instead of all the noise and other people's routines. Don't get me wrong, reading books, watching videos, listening to podcasts is a great idea. It's great to get some ideas of what other people are doing. It's great for inspiration and motivation. And, you can write down ideas. But to think that somebody else's formula or box will always work for somebody else, including yourself. And maybe it does. Don't get me, I'm not saying don't try somebody else's formula. By all means. I have personally found, though, that nobody's formula yet has worked for me. And that's okay. Maybe in small amounts. But things are constantly changing. For instance, I love Robin Sharma. I said it so many times before. And I buy his books. I read his books. The 5 a.m. Club, I even own that book. And that was even after I knew I didn't like the 5 a.m. Club. But there's some really cool tools in there. I just don't use them the way that he does. And that's okay. Right? So it's taking something and making it your own. Doing what feels right for you. Because the thing is, yes, he's a dad, but his kids are older now. His life is different, and that is okay. We're all different. And even somebody that is a mom will have, your mom, if you're a mom out there, your day might look different than mine. Yes, we have similar struggles and challenges. We're taking care of children. They're, forever ours, and it's beautiful. But we're all different too. There's single parents out there. And oh my goodness, wow, my heart goes out to you as a single parent because, anyways, I'm getting off topic, but it's different when you're doing it all on your own. There's a lot of work involved as a parent. So, and if you're not, that's okay too. But it's knowing that everybody is different and unique. And it's, don't fit yourself in a box. You deserve better than that. You can start with somebody's box or formula and then decorate it up the wazoo, bedazzle it, whatever you like, paint it, add some lace, whatever it is, and make it yours. And it just turns into being flexible with that information. The information you read, listen to, watch. It's all good. My morning, if I didn't go to my yoga teacher training, my morning routine looked different before then. And my outlook of yoga itself is different now. It's changed because I changed through that process. And now I see something a little different. And that's how we're going to go. Every day is a day that we can learn something new about ourselves or the world or just different things in general. Life is this beautiful journey of learning, living, and having fun. And, every time we learn something new, we can take that into our account of how are we going to use that in our day? It's a new tool we have, right? One thing I know for sure, though, is I love morning and evening routines. It's how I bookend my day. So regardless of where you're sitting right now with a routine, maybe you have one, maybe you don't. Maybe yours is like jumping out when your alarm goes off and like just starting your day with a sprint, like boom, 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 right? Try to find a breath in there somewhere in your day if that's you. And it's just not, and it's not about judging here. I really want to be clear on that. However, it's understanding what a routine is. It's just this beautiful few steps in the morning, and it could be as simple as brushing while you're brushing your teeth, because you're doing it anyways, right? Is looking in the mirror and just practicing gratitude or saying a few affirmations or just saying, you know what? I am amazing. And it's giving yourself a hug and like looking yourself in the mirror. It could be as simple as just starting your day like that. And it might not sound simple because like you still have to remember it, right? It's just these little beautiful moments throughout your morning can really really get your day started off on the right foot. And same with evenings, a way to unwind in the evening. And for me, I'm going to be honest, I actually watch TV. Not like in bed. I usually, unless I'm not feeling well or something, or I can't sleep, but usually I read if I can't sleep. On occasion though, I have turned on the TV, and I do have a TV in the bedroom because it is a place that I can go when the kids are doing something in the living room and I just need some time by myself. Anyways, but I don't usually use it at bedtime. But I will watch it in the living room because I snuggle with my one cat who likes snuggles in the evening, and I make sure he eats. And it's usually about one episode. And then I'll go upstairs and I'll read a cozy mystery. I used to read motivational and inspirational books. However, I found that when I read those, then I don't sleep because I'm like, ooh. And then I get my brain thinking. The TV is helping me turn off my thinking brain because I'm constantly thinking and creating all day long. I have thoughts that are quite like, ooh, I could do this or I could do that. And it's really just like, the TV turns me off, turns my brain off. And that's what works for me. And when I don't have that half hour to an hour or like 40 minutes, whatever it is with no commercials, I have a hard time sleeping because I've gotten into a routine. Now I can change up my routine at some point, but that is my routine right now. And of course, I always check on my kiddos before going to bed too, making sure, they're all tucked in and their rooms are, like not super hot, super cold, all that fun jazz. So yeah, I do that. But that's like I have a pretty simple routine. I shower way before my bedtime, and I also brush my teeth when I'm saying goodnight to my kids. So then that's all done. So I really just, when I hit that couch, that's my body. Like I let my body know and my brain know that we're winding down now. Now I will also do some tapping if I have indigestion, or if I'm having some feelings or thoughts or like something's going on and I need to go deeper. And I also do visualizations as I go to bed. So anyways, those are just some things I do. And again, what works for me might not work for you. Like maybe, doing a mind dump or a day dump, like into your journal, where you're just like dumping everything into your journal that happened. All the stuff, you're leaving it there. Maybe you have a stressful day, like days, I don't know, right? It's whatever you're going through, you can write it down, but that might work best for you. Maybe you don't like TV. I've also found that I don't like violent TV at night anymore. I'm watching some chill stuff because that's kind of, it just makes me anxious if I watch something violent. But the funny thing is, like a few years ago, I could watch almost anything. So it's again, we're constantly changing, and it's just reevaluating every so often, just checking in, be like, hey, is my morning routine making me feel good and like really giving me, a really good head start into my day, or get me grounded for a really good day? Is it setting me up for success and love and all that awesomeness? Or, could I tweak it a little? And same with your evening routines, with no judgment here. Again, I've been on this journey for so long, and my morning routines, my evening routines have been like all over the place, all different things. And that's okay. And then it's some days I don't have a good morning routine. Like I don't show up and do it. It's just being like, oh, that happened today. Okay, maybe tomorrow. Or you're not even just maybe, like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to try to get a little closer to that, routine that I'd like to do. And that's okay. But remember, these are to set you up and feel good. So if you're stressed, overwhelmed, feeling frustrated about your routines, then maybe it's time to change it a little bit or a lot without judgment and without blame or guilt or any of that. Is to help you and support you throughout the day. Remember, think bookends, the way you start your day and the way you end your day. And it's really just to help support you throughout your day. It's not supposed to be this big, horrible, mean thing that is like, I must get this right. Like, just slowly, with love, play with it and get curious about what you need to start your day and end your day in beautiful ways. And it can be really simple. Like, keep it simple. My motto over the summer was KISS, and it's not what you think. Keep it super simple. I was like, when I would get carried away with my plans, or, I even just had a party with friends for Oktoberfest, and I knew I wanted to decorate and I wanted to clean the house. So I kept the food super simple. It was delicious, but it's just knowing not to put too much on my plate at once. Because I'm now thinking about like keeping it super simple. I can over plan, I can over elaborate things, but sometimes the simplest things are the most amazing. Because the last thing I want is when somebody shows up at my door that I'm super stressed out, because that's not fun. So it's in anything in life, it's trying to simplify things in whatever way possible. Sometimes we overthink things, and in routines, we can do just that. I have. I could like look back from a few years ago where I'm like, I really wanted, like, I fit in a lot. Like, I was like, let's journal, let's do this, let's do like all these things. And there's definitely days where I'll sit down and I will journal more, or I'll do tapping, or I'll do other things that have helped me when I'm having some really difficult times. But my normal morning routine is pretty simplified. I get up and, and I do the things like all personally, take care of my being, right? Brush my teeth, tongue scraping, all that fun jazz. And make the bed and my yoga practice, followed by meditation and occasionally tapping if I feel it's necessary. But a lot of the time, like I said, it's in the evening. Anyways, I'm getting a little off topic here. Well, not off topic, but I'm now rambling. So I want to wrap things up and just remember, find what feels good to you. What do you need to start your day off right? And how would you like to end your day? Maybe it's celebrating your wins. And one of the things I remember doing a lot, and I've actually started doing again, is I'll go to bed thinking about all the things I'm grateful for. I say a little gratitude prayer. And as I'm, saying my gratitude prayer, I usually fall asleep. And it's just a really good way to end the day just in gratitude. But that might not work for you. I know for a while there, my brain was still, I needed to focus on something. So I listened to a lot of audiobooks, and I still do that sometimes. But it's just finding, not every day has to look the same. So remember that, because not every one of my days look exactly the same, but there are key components to every day that are. Like my bed never doesn't get made unless I'm changing the sheets that day. Then it will get changed shortly later. Like, I'm not making a bed I'm about to change. So, but first I have coffee. Anyways, few little things. And then you can also do things to, like, if you're really struggling with even finding any morning routine, is putting a new habit with something you already do, like brushing your teeth, saying affirmations, or just whatever that is that you'd like to add into your routine. Okay? But remember, through all this, it's loving yourself through this process. You don't have to get it perfect. There is no such thing. And I'm just so grateful that you are here. Thank you so much for listening. And just, take it one step at a time. Give yourself a hug. You've got this. You can do this. I believe in you. Do what feels right to you. Take care and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now. Hello, it's Jody again. I'm just back quickly for a quick announcement. I have decided to do an Ask Me Anything podcast episode. So come join the conversation on loving me, myself, and life. Now, it's not going to be live. However, I am going to gather questions ahead of time and answer them for you. So if you have a question about self-love, personal growth, or just life in general, or maybe even have a personal question for me, this is your chance to deep dive into topics that matter to you. Seek advice or explore challenges that resonate with your personal experiences. So get something really, something right directed to you. I'm not going to share full names or locations or anything. I'm going to keep it all, so no one knows who you are, but you'll know who you are. And over the next month or so starting October 13th till November 30th, I will be gathering questions. Now, if you find this after November 30th, that's okay. Please send me your questions anyways, because if I get too many, I'll have to do this again. Not have to, but I want to. So send me your questions if you're like, oh man, I wish Jody would talk about this, or I wish I could hear about this. Please, please send me your questions because I want to do something for you. So please send me your questions today and let's explore the beauty of loving yourself and living authentically and creating a life you truly desire. So you just can go onto my website, jodymisiak.com, and go under contact and just fill out the form with your question. There'll be a link also with this description of this podcast episode. So please, please send away. I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day. Bye for now.